And again, just want to reiterate that we do have all of those ID'd victims with us. We have the list of those 8. We have personally confirmed with family members, so we feel comfortable at this point going on air with this. Bob Violette, we're told he was the bowling league organizer. Trisha Aslin was bowling that night. Arthur Strout, Ron Morin, Joseph Walker, Bill Young, and Aaron Young. And as Jack just mentioned, we had Joseph Walker, also known to many as Joey. That's the same person right there. That's not 2 different people. That's the same person. That's Auburn City Councilor Leroy Walker's son, whom we just heard from. That heartbreaking interview of just how that feels to know deep down inside, even though he didn't have it confirmed last night, know deep down inside what had happened to his son.
Yeah, and I think when Jack spoke with him last night and we got to see that part of the conversation, all of our hearts sunk just at that intuition of a parent, I suppose you could say,
right.
That he knew pieces were not adding up. And I think he saw what was coming and was waiting for that confirmation that, as Jack was also mentioning, and we've been telling you, so many families are still waiting for today.
Right.
It gets harder and harder, I think, as we learn more about these victims. You know, Bob Violette, a bowling league organizer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can imagine that he was probably somebody that people looked forward to seeing on Wednesday nights when they would do their bowling leagues. Ron Morin, baseball umpire. I talked to one of his friends, a great photo of him that they've shared with us. We're going to try and get it to you. He said he has always had a smile on his face, just like in the photo. This is the guy who took the photo. And just, wow. You know, you start to learn more about the personality of these people as opposed to names on a screen. You start to realize they have families, communities, connections that they've lost.
Of course, and I think as difficult as last night was for so many people with the unknown, it's going to be just as difficult, if not more difficult now, with the known. You know, finding out that this person that you had in your circle was part of this.
Well, I think you mentioned circle. I think that's part of it that we have been talking a lot about, of considering the number of people who were impacted, either directly killed or injured, or were simply there and lived through this moment. There's a good chance a lot of us will know someone or have a connection to someone. And I think that's the part that will be the kind of the slow Band-Aid coming off over the next few days, of the realization of that. And again, the big question of kind of the age ranges. You know, what age groups are we talking about here?
Right.
And we don't know. Certainly, we have a number of victims so far identified, but we don't know, will the remaining ones be children? We don't. There are a lot of questions.
Which was something that, at this morning's press conferences, the 1031 from the Department of Public Safety and kind of the law enforcement officials, and then as well followed by the hospital officials, they were not saying, excuse me, they were not giving that information.
The ages,
the ages and the genders. They weren't wanting to give that out.
By the way,
some of the genders they
did release, but I just want to point out too, we have video, I believe we have drone video of Lewiston and how it continues to be an active situation. So if we could run that while we continue to talk about what's going on. I'm sorry, Chris.
No.
But you were, yes, they did release genders today,
yes.
And it sounded like a lot of men were impacted by this.
Yeah, so the breakdown from police this morning was at spare time, 7 people were killed, and they said there was 1 female and 6 males.
Mm-hmm.
And then at Schmenge's, which was the bar, which is about 4 miles away, the shooting there was reported about 12 minutes after the report at the bowling league. 8 people died there, 7 men and 1 man outside. And so this is the drone video that Amanda was just mentioning. This is the bar.
And as Jack had mentioned earlier, you see a lot of cars in that parking lot that are not law enforcement, that you have to assume probably left over there from last night.
For however they got out.
Yeah.
Whether they were just running from a scene or transported as a victim. But that is part of the crime scene that's under analysis right now. You can see in the middle of your screen right now that police investigation unit on the scene. So we're talking about all of this because the horrific reality of the people who lost their lives last night just living their Wednesday night. In contrast with this multi-hundred person search for one man right now,
Right.
who police say is responsible for this tragic night in our community.